Well, we're tracking multiple wildfires in Canada as the country faces what is being called its worst fire season on record. Fires in the Kelowna region of British Columbia and 1,200 miles or 2,000 kilometres north in the country's Northwest Territory capital of Yellowknife are some of the more than 1,000 active wildfires across Canada. 186,000 residents in both Kelowna and West Kelowna are under a state of emergency after fast-burning and unpredictable wildfires forced evacuations early on Friday. In Yellowknife, a wildfire continues to move closer to the city. It currently sits about 9 miles, just 15 kilometres away. Residents are still evacuating, and officials say flights out of Yellowknife will leave every hour. Ollie Williams is a journalist with Cabin Radio based in Yellowknife who has already evacuated to a nearby village. He spoke to the BBC a little earlier.
Air is going to become the only option at some point if the fire keeps encroaching further and further toward Yellowknife. There is just the one road south to the rest of Canada. It's a small road, one lane in either direction for about 400 miles, 600 or so kilometers. It is a huge distance. There's virtually no infrastructure to get people out by road. So air is the only other alternative, and that means 20 plus flights today. The military adding extra flights on top of that. There are still some scheduled flights getting out of that airport as well. A lineup of people at the school in Yellowknife and then a bus to the airport and get them out that way. As far as I can tell, that system is operating about as well as it could so far today, even to the point, in fact, that they were crying out for more people to get into the line because some flights were having to wait on the tarmac because they weren't full. It's hard to tell if that's because other people got so bored of 12-hour lines yesterday that they decided to leave, or if people have managed to get other routes out of the city. It's so hard to know exactly who's where and to know exactly how many people are out.
Well, there are striking similarities between the scenes in the Northwest Territories and those that played out last week, 6,000 kilometres away in Maui. Authorities there continue to search for victims in the rubble of the town of Lahaina, where the death toll now stands at 111. Earlier this week, the source of those deadly fires seemed to have been found. This security camera footage shows the moment a tree fell on a power line in Maui's so-called upcountry. It's believed to be the first in a chain of events that led to the widespread devastation we saw last week. Washington Post reporter Brianna Sachs found data and video evidence indicating electrical faults in the island's power grid, likely igniting the most devastating wildfires on Maui. Here's what she had to say.
I found some security footage that took place at 10:47 p.m. Monday night in Upcountry, which captured this bright flash, which we now believe is what's called an arc flash. And that's what happens when the electrical grid faults, meaning a line could come in contact with a tree, vegetation, another line fall to the ground. And the woman narrating that video said, I think a tree fell on a line, the power goes out, and then fire sparks right in that same location. And I overlaid that with some electrical grid sensor data that I obtained from a company called Whisker Labs. And those things occurred at the exact same moment. So that was the first time that an electrical malfunction was caught on video, was directly correlated with data confirming that the power system experienced a major problem at that time.